Hello, my friend, and welcome to the Daily English Podcast, the place where you learn real English for real life.
Today's topic is personal. It's the quiet shame that almost nobody talks about, but almost everybody feels.
Today, we're talking about this thought right here. My English isn't perfect. People will judge me, so I should stay quiet.
You know that feeling, right? You want to speak. You have an idea. You have something smart to say. Your brain is ready, but your mouth freezes.
And in that moment, you don't think, I don't know the answer. You think, my English is not good enough to say the answer.
Exactly. It's not a knowledge problem, it's a shame problem.
And I want to say something clearly at the beginning, so you hear it with your whole body. You do not need perfect English to be respected.
Say that again.
You do not need perfect English to be respected.
Because respect doesn't come from perfect grammar. Respect comes from you showing up, being present, and speaking like you believe you belong in the room.
That's what we're doing today. In this episode, we're going to 1. Talk about why you're scared to speak. 2. Explain the cost of staying silent. 3. Give you real, simple English for real situations. Job interview, meeting, stranger conversation, asking for help. 4. Teach you vocabulary to describe yourself with confidence, even if your English is not perfect.
So this is not just pronunciation practice. This is self-respect practice.
Stay with us. Let's start with the mini problem.
Okay.
Imagine this. You're in a meeting, people are talking, you have a good idea, you know the idea will help, you open your mouth, and then your brain says, wait, what if I make a grammar mistake? What if I forget a word? What if they think I'm stupid? So you close your mouth.
And then someone else says almost the same idea you had, and everyone says, wow, that's great. And now you sit there and you feel two things at the same time. Number 1, anger. Number 2, small. That small feeling is not about English. That's shame.
And that shame slowly teaches you, I should stay quiet. My accent is a problem. My grammar is a problem. I am a problem.
This is important. They did not say that to you. You said that to you.
Yes, you attacked yourself before anyone else could attack you.
That's survival behavior. That's protection. If I silence myself, nobody can laugh at me.
But that protection has a cost.
Let's talk about the cost.
There are 2 common strategies people use with insecure English. Number 1, stay silent. Number 2, only speak in safe English.
Let's do number 1 first. Staying silent.
When you stay silent, you feel safe in the moment. Nobody can hear your accent. Nobody can judge your grammar. Nobody can laugh.
Short term, it feels safe. Long term, it's dangerous.
Because here is what happens when you always stay quiet. People think you don't have ideas. People think you don't understand. People think you don't care. People start talking over you. People make decisions without you. People forget you.
Silence doesn't protect your value. Silence hides your value.
Exactly.
Now, number 2, only speaking safe.
Yes. Some learners create a tiny safe zone. They only say easy, basic, short things so they don't make mistakes. They never say anything that might sound smart, complex, emotional, or strong.
So they're always like, yeah, I agree. I think so too. It's fine. And they never say, I disagree because here's a better option. I don't think that's accurate. Let me explain my reasoning. And when you never say those bigger sentences, people think you can't think at that level.
Exactly. So here is the truth. Staying silent feels safe. Only saying easy English feels safe, but both slowly delete your authority.
Let's be honest about the risk on both sides.
If you speak, maybe someone will notice your accent. If you don't speak, they will not notice you at all.
Which one is worse?
Exactly.
So now we're going to do something powerful. We're going to practice real-life English for scary moments. Not perfect textbook sentences, real sentences you can use even if your English is not perfect.
We're going to do role plays, job interview, meeting, talking to a stranger, asking for help.
I'll be the other person. You be you.
Let's go. Scene 1, job interview. You're nervous. You're scared your English will sound bad.
So, can you tell me about your experience on the last project?
Listen carefully. I'm not going to try to sound fancy. I'm going to sound clear. I led a small team. We built the first version. I focused on solving problems fast. I can explain more details if you want.
Say it again.
I led a small team. We built the first version. I focused on solving problems fast. I can explain more details if you want.
That sounds confident.
Right. Simple English, strong message, no apology.
You didn't say, sorry, my English is not perfect. You didn't say, my English is bad, but you just talked like a capable adult.
Exactly.
Let's go workplace or meeting.
Scene 2. You're in a meeting and someone says something you think is wrong.
We should just launch it next week. No need to test. It's fine.
Here's what you can say. I see your point. I have a concern about risk. A small test first can save time later.
Again, slower.
I see your point. I have a concern about risk. A small test first can save time later.
That's beautiful. It's respectful, it's clear, and then solution. A small test first.
And did you notice? No apology. No, sorry, but. No, I'm not good at English, but I think maybe. You went straight to the idea.
Yes, because ideas deserve a voice. Let's do strangers or social situation, because a lot of learners freeze in small talk.
Good. Scene 3. You meet someone new at an event. You're scared they'll judge your accent.
Hi, I'm Daniel. Nice to meet you.
Here's a natural way to answer in real life. Nice to meet you too. I'm Anna. I'm still waking up my English today, but I'm happy to talk. Or, nice to meet you too. I'm David. I'm still waking up my English today, but I'm happy to talk.
That's so warm.
Yes. Notice something important. You did not say, sorry for my English. You said, I'm still waking up my English today. That's playful. That's human. That's confident.
It's like you're saying, yeah, I'm not perfect. Relax. I'm still here.
Exactly. It's self-acceptance, not self-attack.
Okay, now let's do asking for help, because a lot of learners are scared to ask for help. They think asking makes them look weak.
Yes. Scene 4. You need help from a coworker or teammate.
Do you understand the new process?
Here's what you can say. I understand the first part. I'm not clear on the last step. Can you walk me through that part?
One more time.
I understand the first part. I'm not clear on the last step. Can you walk me through that part?
That sounds professional.
It is, because that's exactly how native speakers talk at work. Native speakers ask for help all the time. Native speakers say, I'm not clear all the time. You're not dumb because you ask. You're responsible because you ask.
Yes. Now I want to do something important. I want you to show people how to say, I'm qualified, without sounding arrogant.
Let's do it.
Because a lot of learners feel like, who am I to say I'm good?
Yeah,
Let's practice.
I have experience with this. I can handle this kind of work. This is something I've done before. I'm comfortable leading this part. I can take responsibility for that.
Can you say them slower, one by one?
I have experience with this. I can handle this kind of work. This is something I've done before. I'm comfortable leading this part. I can take responsibility for that.
That's beautiful because it's confident but still humble.
Exactly. It's not, I'm the best in the world. It's, I am capable.
Now, vocabulary clinic, like we always do. This is where we give you words you can steal and use.
Let's do it.
Word 1, confident. What does confident mean in simple English?
Confident means, I believe I can do it. Not perfect, not zero fear, just, I believe I can do it. Example, I'm confident I can handle this project.
Word 2, capable.
Capable means, I have the skills to do this. Example, she's capable. You can trust her with this task.
Word 3, qualified.
Qualified means, I meet the requirements for this job or this task. Example, I'm qualified for this position. I've done similar work for 3 years.
Word 4, fluent.
Fluent does not only mean perfect grammar. Fluent means you can communicate comfortably and naturally in most situations. Example, I'm not perfect, but I'm fluent enough for daily work.
Word 5, impression.
Impression means the feeling people get about you after they meet you or listen to you. Example, I want to make a good impression in this meeting.
Word 6, mistake.
Mistake means something not correct. That's it. It is not crime. It is not shame. It is just not correct. Example, I made a small mistake in that sentence, but my point was clear.
That line is so important. I made a small mistake in that sentence, but my point was clear.
Yes, because that's the truth. People still understood you. Communication happened. You succeeded.
So you don't have to panic every time your grammar is not 100% perfect.
Exactly. Native speakers don't speak 100% perfect either.
Now I want to go deeper. Reflection time.
Yes.
This is the part where we get honest with ourselves. No pretending.
I'm going to ask you some questions. Answer them in your mind. If you can, answer them out loud. Use your real voice. Practice hearing yourself.
Question 1. Where did you learn to be quiet?
Was it school, where they laughed at your accent? Was it work, where someone corrected your grammar in front of everyone like you were a child?
Was it home, where you were always scared of saying it wrong?
Question 2. When you stay silent, who benefits?
Think about it. When you stay silent, who gets the promotion? Who gets the attention? Who gets called smart, leader, strong? Is it you? Or is it the person who just spoke first, even if their idea was not better?
Question 3. Are you really protecting yourself, or are you slowly deleting yourself?
And question 4. What happens to your life if you keep waiting until your English is perfect?
Because let's tell the truth, perfect never arrives.
There is no day called perfect. There is only today I speak or today I hide.
I want to say something to you, the listener, directly.
Go.
You deserve to be in the conversation right now. Not when your English is better, not after 6 more months, now.
Right now. With the English you already have, with the accent you already have, with the brain you already have. People do not respect you because your grammar is perfect. People respect you because you show up, you bring value, and you speak like you belong.
Because you do belong.
So here's your practice homework for the next 24 hours, just like we always do.
Yes.
You do not have to suddenly become loud. You do not have to give a 5-minute speech. I only want one thing.
One sentence.
Yes. Choose one of these and use it in real life today. I have a suggestion. I disagree. Can I explain? I'm not clear on the last part. Could you repeat that for me? I can handle that. I can take responsibility for this part.
Small sentence, big shift.
You're not waiting for permission. You're not apologizing for speaking. You're stepping into the room like you're allowed to be there, because you are.
And listen, the first time you say it, your heart will beat fast. That's normal. That is not panic I should obey. That is new power waking up.
Your body has to learn it is safe to be heard.
Exactly.
So let's close.
You don't need perfect English to be respected. You need presence. You need clarity. You need the courage to be seen with an accent.
Your accent is not a problem. Your accent is proof. Proof that you're brave enough to speak in more than one language.
Your mistakes are not proof that you're stupid. Your mistakes are proof that you're practicing in real life, not hiding in silence.
And your voice? Your voice matters now, not later, now.
This is the Daily English Podcast. Real English, real emotion, real life.
And remember, every word you speak builds your future. Keep speaking. Keep growing.